My beloved child, gather close to me now, for the wind itself is trembling with a message that must not be ignored. I speak to you with a shaking voice, not out of fear, but because something holy is pressing against the walls of this moment. I want you to feel the weight of what is happening in the unseen realms. I want you to sense the heaviness that has fallen upon the heavens. For last night, and I knelt before the altar in quiet prayer, a divine sound split the silence. It was not thunder. It was not the cry of men. It was not the echo of earthly sorrow. My beloved child, it was the cry of Archangel Michael, and not a soft cry, not a whisper, not the gentle voice of a guardian angel. No, this was a loud, agonizing, shaking cry, a cry that seemed to tear across the heavens, shaking the spiritual gates and trembling the stars. I felt it in my bones, in my spirit, in the deepest chamber of my heart. It was a cry full of urgency because you have not been listening. You. Yes, you, my beloved child. Heaven has been trying to reach you again and again. Signs have been placed before you. Warnings whispered into your heart. Nudges sent through dreams. Sudden thoughts, moments of discomfort, strange coincidences, but you brushed them aside. You delayed. You postponed. You said, I will listen later. And later never came. But now heaven cannot wait any longer. Archangel Michael cannot stay silent. In my vision, I saw him standing upon the edge of battle, his sword glowing with divine fire, his wings stretching across the horizon. Yet his head bowed as tears fell like burning rain. Each tear that touched the ground sent up sparks, as though the earth itself was reacting to the pain of an archangel. He cried, not because you are lost, my child, but because you are chosen. Chosen, yet drifting. Called, yet distracted. Marked by heaven, yet walking with your head lowered, unaware of the glory placed upon your life. And in that same vision, as Michael cried out, I heard another sound, something mysterious, something earthly yet guided by heaven. It was the sound of footsteps. The steps of someone wealthy, someone influential, someone whose presence shifts the atmosphere when they enter a room. A millionaire. Yes, my child, I tell you the truth as it was revealed to me. A millionaire has taken a sudden interest in you. Not by accident, not by coincidence, not by chance. Their heart was stirred, their spirit awakened, their attention drawn toward you, so abruptly, so intensely, that even they were left shocked. Shocked by what they discovered about you. Shocked by something heaven allowed them to see. Shocked by a truth about your destiny that you yourself have not yet fully understood. But that part of the message must wait, for the heavens did not reveal it all at once. What they showed me first was the urgency of Michael's cry, the urgency of the moment, the urgency that heaven is pressing upon your life. Listen to me, my beloved child, this is not a time for wandering thoughts. This is not a time to scroll away or be distracted. This is a message that was carried on the wings of angels, pressed upon my spirit, and delivered into your hands. Your life is standing at the edge of something divine. And Archangel Michael is crying loudly because every moment you delay, a blessing delays with you. Every moment you ignore, a door waits unopened. Every time you say not now, a miracle pauses in midair. But heaven does not want you to miss what is coming next. Not this time. Not this season. Not when so much is aligning for you. My beloved child, breathe deeply, still your thoughts, and listen. Truly listen, because what comes next is the message Michael cried for. My beloved child, come closer, for what I must share with you now is the very heartbeat of the heavens. As we step into this next part of the message, I want your spirit to be still, your thoughts to quiet themselves, and your heart to open like a book before the Lord. For the cry of Archangel Michael did not rise from ordinary sorrow. It rose from a place of divine urgency that concerns you directly, personally, intimately. When I returned to prayer after witnessing Michael's tears, the vision did not end. Instead, it deepened. I saw the Archangel lift his face, and though tears still glistened upon him like molten silver, his eyes were burning with fierce love. Not anger. Not punishment. Love. A love so deep that it shook me. A love so strong that it made me understand why heaven cries when you do not listen. My beloved child, Archangel Michael is crying because he has been fighting for you. Fighting battles you never saw. Fighting dangers that passed by you silently. Fighting attacks that were planned against you but never reached you. Fighting delays, setbacks, betrayals, disappointments, and spiritual storms that would have crushed you if he had not stood between you and the destruction that was meant for you. Yet every time he fights for you, he brings the victory to your doorstep. And many times, you turned away without opening the door. I saw scrolls in Michael's hands, scrolls filled with instructions you were meant to receive, paths you were meant to follow, decisions you were supposed to make, opportunities tied to your destiny, warnings meant to protect you. And each time you ignored a nudge, dismissed an intuition, or silenced that small inner voice, Michael felt the weight of a delayed prophecy. His tears were not a rebuke to you, my child. They were a plea for you to finally hear. Heaven has been calling your name in different ways. Through people you quickly dismiss. Through dreams you forgot by morning. Through sudden feelings that you brushed aside. Through unusual moments of discomfort that you explained away. But the greatest tragedy is that the message meant for you has been reaching your ears but not entering your spirit. In the vision, Michael opened one of the scrolls, and when he did, a wind began to blow around him. This wind carried words, and the words wrapped themselves around me like fire. They said, "The child does not understand the greatness of the destiny set upon their life. They do not know what is coming. They do not know how heaven has been preparing the way." My beloved child, hear this with your spirit. You are not ordinary. That is why the battles have been intense. That is why the delays have been painful. That is why people have misunderstood you. That is why your path has been different. Michael cries because your destiny is great, but your attention has been divided. And then, with a mighty shake, the vision shifted. I saw you. Yes, you, walking on a narrow path. But your head was lower. You were carrying the weight of past wounds, past failures, past fears. And because your eyes were fixed on the ground, you did not see the lights that heaven placed along the path. You missed signs meant to guide you. You overlooked doors meant to open for you. You walked past people who carried blessings for you. And every missed moment caused Michael's tears to fall. Then Michael spoke, and his voice sounded like the echo of thunder softened by compassion. He said, "If only the child would lift their head. If only they would listen. If only they would trust the instructions of heaven. If only they would see what we see." And my child, when he said those words, a heavy truth struck me. Michael is crying not because you are failing, but because you are closer than you think. Your blessing is not far. Your breakthrough is not distant. The shift you have been praying for is not beyond reach. But you have been walking with your eyes on the ground when heaven needs you to lift your gaze. Suddenly, I saw a powerful light pouring from the sky, surrounding Michael, and from that light came another message. Tell the child to awaken. Tell the child to listen. Tell the child that heaven is moving on their behalf. Tell the child that the message cannot wait. My beloved child, hear what I say now with trembling reverence. Michael's cry is heaven's alarm. It is a divine announcement that your destiny is entering a moment where your attention must match your calling. The doors that are coming will not stay open forever. The opportunities approaching you will require awareness. You must begin to listen with spiritual ears, see with spiritual eyes, and walk with spiritual confidence. For the heavens are preparing to reveal why a millionaire has been drawn toward you. But you must first understand the pain of Michael's cry. You must understand the urgency. You must understand why heaven has been trying to capture your attention again and again. My beloved child, let your spirit lean in even closer now, for we are stepping deeper into the chambers of the message that Archangel Michael has been crying out to deliver to you. What I am about to speak is not simply information. It is a divine instruction, a heavenly alert, a calling that must not be ignored any longer. The air around us is heavy with revelation, and I can feel the presence of the angels drawing near, urging you to receive these words with a soft heart and an awakened mind. After Michael's cry echoed across the heavens in my vision, something remarkable happened. The atmosphere shifted, almost as though the heavens themselves were holding their breath. A silence settled, thick, deep, sacred. In that silence, a scroll unfurled before me, hanging in the air without being held by any hand. Words written in a radiant light began to glow upon it, and even before I read them, I felt the weight of their importance. This, my beloved child, was the urgent message Archangel Michael has been pleading for you to hear. The message began with one simple yet powerful truth. You have been chosen for a path that few are entrusted with. Heaven has placed a mantle upon your life, and whether you feel ready or worthy or aware, the mantle remains. You may see yourself as someone ordinary, but heaven sees you as someone strategic for this time and this season. You have been positioned in the earth for a divine assignment, and this assignment requires your listening, your obedience, your attention. My beloved child, this is the root of Michael's cry. You have been moving too quickly in the physical world and too slowly in the spiritual one. Your days have been filled with noise, distraction, worry, and earthly responsibilities, leaving little room for the still, small voice that has been trying to guide you. Heaven has whispered ideas to you, ideas that could change your life, but you brushed them off, thinking they were random thoughts. Heaven has sent you people. People meant to open doors, help you, guide you, bless you. But you overlooked them, assuming they were just passing faces. Heaven has tugged at your heart, nudging you toward decisions you ignored, places you never visited, opportunities you hesitated to touch. The scroll said, "The child is drifting away from the frequency of divine instruction. Bring them back." And as those words glowed before me, I felt a tremor of heavenly grief. Because the greatest danger is not an external enemy, but internal deafness. The message Michael carries is urgent because your destiny is at a turning point. You are walking into a season where instructions matter more than ever. A delayed instruction could become a delayed blessing. A missed instruction could become a missed breakthrough. A resisted instruction could become a resisted destiny. But my beloved child, do not let fear enter your heart. For the same message that warns you also reassures you. The heavens declared, the child is loved. The child is protected. The child is watched over. The child has time to awaken, but not time to waste. That is why they sent Michael's cry to shake you, to jolt your spirit, to stir your awareness, to awaken the fire within you that has been sleeping. Then the scroll revealed something more, something deeper, something that made my spirit tremble. It said, "Prepare them, for heaven is aligning a divine encounter." Someone has already begun moving toward them. Someone carrying resources, influence, and favor. Someone who does not yet understand their role in the child's destiny, but will soon come to see it. This, my beloved child, is the connection between the heavenly message and the earthly millionaire who has taken sudden interest in you. Heaven is orchestrating an alignment so powerful that even the one being used, this wealthy individual, has been left shocked by the pull they feel toward you. They do not understand why their heart is drawn to you, why your name keeps appearing before them, why you keep coming to their thoughts. But heaven understands. The scroll instructed me to tell you this. Do not ignore the stirrings within your spirit any longer. Do not silence your intuition. Do not disregard the signs. Heaven is speaking, and what comes next in your life requires your readiness. My beloved child, heaven is saying, listen now. Listen deeply. Listen with your heart. For the steps you take in this season must be guided steps, not accidental ones. You are being prepared for an encounter that has the potential to shift your life, to elevate you, to position you in places you never imagined. But you must be spiritually awake to recognize the divine when it arrives in human form. And so I say to you, with love and holy trembling, open your ears, open your spirit, open your heart. The urgent message from heaven is this: pay attention. A divine alignment is unfolding, and heaven is calling your name. My beloved child, lean in with all the softness of your spirit, for now we step into a revelation that touches the realm of both heaven and earth. What I am about to speak is tied to movements happening around you, even as you listen. There are footsteps approaching your destiny, and they do not belong to someone small or insignificant. They belong to someone whose presence shifts rooms, whose decisions move mountains, whose resources unlock doors for others. Heaven has stirred the heart of a millionaire toward you, and I must tell you how and why this happened. In the vision, after the scroll closed itself with a burst of holy light, I saw a sudden shift, like a window opening into another world. I found myself standing on the balcony of a tall building overlooking a vast city, lights shimmering like tiny stars scattered across the earth. But the focus was not the city. It was a single person standing inside a beautifully furnished room behind a glass wall. This person was dressed in elegance without effort, carrying the quiet confidence of one who has conquered many battles and built great things. A millionaire, not only in wealth, but in influence, in connections, in opportunities. Their life was structured, organized, steady. Nothing easily surprised them. Nothing easily moved them. Yet an expression sat on their face that I had never seen before, an expression of shock mixed with curiosity, as though something had suddenly shaken the calmness of their world. My beloved child, heaven allowed me to see the moment their spirit turned toward you. It happened unexpectedly. One moment they were reviewing plans, making decisions, and continuing life as usual. The next moment, heaven whispered your name across their spirit. It was not a voice they heard with their ears, but a pull they felt inside. A pull so strong that it made them pause, frown, and lean back as if trying to understand why they suddenly felt connected to someone they had never met. Heaven does this sometimes. When it is time for destiny to shift, God sends a stirring into the heart of the one who holds the keys you need. That stirring disrupts their rhythm. It interrupts their plans. It places a divine curiosity inside them that refuses to be ignored. I watched the millionaire pace the room, trying to understand the sudden, overwhelming draw toward you. They tried to return to their work, but they could not. They tried to focus on other matters, but something kept pulling them back to you. It did not make sense to them, and that was what shocked them. They are used to being in control, used to making logical decisions, used to choosing their own direction. But this was different. This was divine interference. They whispered, almost in confusion, "Who is this person? Why do I feel this way? Why can't I stop thinking about them?" My beloved child, the heavens whispered back, though the millionaire did not hear it, because this is the one you are assigned to bless. Even before they understand it, their heart is aligning with your journey. Their steps are shifting in your direction. Their life is about to intersect with yours in a way that will feel orchestrated, intentional, divine. Heaven showed me scenes, brief, flashing moments, of how your paths could cross. It might be through a conversation with someone you least expect. It might be through an opportunity that appears suddenly, without explanation. It might be through a message, a recommendation, a referral, a meeting that seems accidental but is heaven planned. But child, do not mistake this for luck or coincidence. This is not random. This is not chance. This is not a mere earthly encounter. This is heaven using someone with great influence to lift you into a season that you could never enter by your own strength. I saw angels moving around this millionaire, adjusting their schedule, rearranging their steps, even placing your name and your presence in front of them repeatedly until they could no longer deny the divine pull. Heaven is preparing both you and them for an alignment that will shake both of your lives. But here is the part that made the millionaire truly shocked. When their spirit connected to yours, they caught a glimpse, just a flash, of the spiritual mark that is on you. They saw, in that brief moment, that you are not ordinary, that you carry something ancient, something powerful, something favored. They saw that heaven has placed a seal upon your life, a seal they could not explain. And in that moment, a sense of awe fell upon them, for they realized, without knowing how, that you are someone heaven has chosen to rise. Someone heaven is elevating. Someone heaven is protecting. Someone heaven is guiding. My beloved child, heaven is moving someone with great power toward your life because your path is entering a season that requires the support of someone who carries what you lack. Your destiny is too large to walk into alone. Heaven is sending help. Strong, wealthy, influential help. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. My beloved child, rest your heart in my voice as we go deeper, for now we enter a sacred understanding of why heaven is moving so powerfully on your behalf. This part of the message carries weight, because it explains the divine reason behind the sudden stirring in the spirit of that wealthy individual. Nothing in heaven happens without purpose. Nothing in heaven moves without intention. Every alignment is crafted with precision, and every person heaven sends into your life carries meaning far beyond what the eye can see. After witnessing the millionaire's astonishment, the vision shifted once more. I found myself standing in a place that felt like the boundary between heaven and earth. It was neither here nor there, yet it held the substance of both realms. Light flowed across the ground like water, and above me I saw angels moving swiftly with scrolls, assignments, and instructions. Each scroll bore seals. Each seal represented destinies, and each destiny was connected to a person on earth. As I watched them work, a warm voice spoke behind me. It was not loud, yet it carried authority beyond anything human. The voice said, "Heaven moves people when purpose demands it, not when convenience allows it, not when timing feels comfortable, but when the destiny of the chosen must unfold." My beloved child, that is why heaven has touched the heart of the millionaire. Not because you sought them, not because you pursued them, not because you positioned yourself for them. No, heaven positioned them for you. You see, your journey has reached a place where spiritual preparation must meet earthly provision. Angels fight for you in the unseen realm, but there are moments in life when heaven chooses a vessel in the physical world to carry out assistance, sponsorship, elevation, or direction. The millionaire is not coming into your life by chance. They are being nudged, pushed even, into alignment with your destiny because they carry something you will need for what comes next. It may be resources. It may be knowledge. It may be access. It may be opportunity. It may be influence. It may be protection. But whatever it is, heaven has determined that what they carry must reach you. In the vision, I saw Archangel Michael standing near a large, sealed door. This door represented opportunity that you have prayed for but have not yet touched. Michael placed his hand on the seal, but he did not open it. Instead, he said, "The child cannot open this door alone. It requires a destiny bearer. Someone assigned. Someone prepared. Someone equipped." Then an angel stepped forward carrying a scroll inscribed with your name and the millionaire's name intertwined by a golden thread. The angel held it out and said, "This connection is being activated for divine purpose. My beloved child, this is why heaven cries when you do not listen. Because heaven knows how much is being coordinated for you. They know how many angels are working behind the scenes. They know how close you are to walking into something extraordinary. The alignment between you and the one heaven is sending must not be delayed by doubt, fear, distraction, or spiritual deafness. Heaven is moving people for you because your season of elevation is here. You have walked through hardship. You have endured loneliness. You have been faithful in silence. You have cried in private. You have waited while watching others receive. But heaven has not forgotten you. Heaven has been preparing something different, something bigger, something that requires the involvement of someone whose presence can shift your entire environment. And the heavens whispered something else, something tender and powerful. When the child rises, others will rise through them. This is why the assignment over your life is so important. It is not only about you. It is about every person connected to your future victory. Heaven moves people toward you because heaven plans to move through you. Now listen closely, my beloved child, for this part is not only prophetic, but instructional. Heaven desires that you do not hold this message alone. When heaven releases something urgent and divine, it becomes a holy responsibility to spread it, to echo it, to allow others to hear and awaken. The angels made it clear that when a child of God receives a heavenly warning or blessing, sharing that message becomes part of their spiritual obedience. So before we move forward, I speak this gently into your heart. If these words have touched your spirit, if the revelation has stirred something in you, then carry it forward. Share it. Raise it up. Let it ripple outward. Let others feel what heaven is saying. In doing so, you take part in the work of the angels. You join the movement of light. You bless others the way heaven is preparing to bless you. Heaven counts it as an act of alignment, an act of obedience, an act of divine duty. My beloved child, come close again, for the next layer of this revelation carries both tenderness and truth. What I am about to speak may touch wounds you have carried for years, but it will also illuminate the reasons behind battles you never understood. For after heaven showed me why people are being moved toward your life, the vision shifted into a place filled with a heavy silence, a silence soaked in meaning. It was here that Archangel Michael revealed the deeper reason behind his tears. In this part of the vision, I found myself standing inside what looked like a vast chamber made of light, yet the light seemed dimmed by sadness. Michael stood at the center, tall and radiant, but there was a trembling in his wings, as though he was carrying weight beyond measure. Before him lay timelines, yes, timelines, versions of your life that heaven had written, paths filled with blessings, opportunities, relationships, breakthroughs, and moments of glory that were meant for you. These timelines shone like rivers of gold, each representing a different season of your destiny. But then I noticed something that pierced me deeply. Some of those golden timelines had faded portions, dim sections where the light had thinned. And without me asking, Michael spoke with a voice that carried the ache of a guardian who has loved fiercely. These are the moments, he said, where the child's breakthrough was at the door, but they were not listening. My beloved child, the heavens do not hide sorrow, for even angels feel when destiny is delayed. These dim portions on your timeline were not signs of failure. They were signs of distraction, signs of spiritual fatigue, signs of emotional wounds that kept you from recognizing divine opportunities, signs of battles you fought alone when you were never meant to fight them in your own strength. And every time you turned away from an instruction meant to guide you, a portion of your blessing dimmed, not vanished, not lost forever, but delayed. Michael's tears were not because he is disappointed in you. No, my child. His tears were because of how much he has fought to protect your blessings, to safeguard your future, to shield your purpose, and how often you have walked in pain without understanding the divine movements happening behind the scenes. I watched as Michael touched one of the timelines, and the moment he touched it, I saw a memory of you, a moment from your life when you were weary, discouraged, ready to give up. You were crying silently, telling yourself that nothing was changing, that nothing good was coming, that perhaps heaven had forgotten you. But the truth was, at that exact moment, heaven was preparing a blessing for you. You were closer than you realized. You were standing right next to the door of breakthrough. Yet because of how heavy your heart felt, you could not see it. And so you turned away. When Michael saw you turn, that is when he cried. Not because you failed, but because he saw how close you were. My beloved child, your breakthrough was delayed not because heaven denied you, but because your spirit was exhausted. You have carried weight that heaven never intended for you to carry alone. You have battled storms without realizing angels were fighting beside you. You have walked with your head lowered for so long that you forgot heaven has been lifting you all along. Then the heavens revealed something even more tender. Michael opened another timeline, and on this one, the light was brighter, glorious, unbroken, radiating with promise. He said, "This is the timeline the child is stepping into now. The moment they awaken, the moment they listen, the moment they begin to walk with heaven instead of struggling alone." And then he looked at me with the intensity of a warrior who refuses to give up on the one they protect and said, "Tell the child this, heaven is not angry with them. Heaven is not punishing them. Heaven has never abandoned them. But this is the moment they must rise. This is the moment they must tune their ear to the instructions of God. This is the moment they must walk with spiritual awareness. This is the moment they must not ignore divine signs. For the door they once missed is coming again. The opportunity they once walked past is returning. The blessing they thought was lost is being restored. The alignment that dimmed is brightening again. Heaven is preparing a second chance, a new unfolding, a revival of what was delayed. And then Michael added something that made my spirit tremble. This time, the child will not walk alone. Heaven is sending someone to help carry the weight. Someone to hold open the doors that once seemed too heavy. Someone with earthly influence to pair with the child's heavenly purpose. My beloved child, your delayed breakthrough has not been denied. It is being rebuilt with stronger foundations. The tears Michael shed were the tears of one who has fought for your future and is ready to see you step into the fullness of what heaven has planned. My beloved child, come closer still, for the message now reaches a point of holy intensity. What I am about to speak is not only prophetic, but pivotal. It marks the turning point, the moment where heaven makes it known that your destiny can't be placed on pause any longer. This is the moment when the heavens draw a line and say, the waiting has gone on long enough. The child must awaken. The child must rise. The child must step into what has already been written. As the vision continued, I found myself standing before a massive gate, far larger than any I had seen before. It shimmered with living light, pulsing like a heartbeat. I felt that this gate represented a season, a divine opportunity that heaven had prepared for you. But even before I stepped closer, I sensed a tightness in the air, a kind of urgency that felt like the final chime of a ringing bell. This was not the gentle invitation heaven had extended before. This was a call that carried weight, force, and holy seriousness. Archangel Michael stood beside the gate, his face set with determination. The tears from earlier were gone, replaced by the resolute expression of a warrior who knows that the time for waiting has ended. He looked at me with eyes that seemed to pierce through time itself, and he said, "Tell the child that heaven will not wait forever. There are doors that open only in certain seasons. This is one of them. My beloved child." Those words shook me. Not because they were a warning filled with fear, but because they were spoken with the urgency of deep love. Heaven does not rush without reason. Heaven does not press unless something important stands at the threshold. This moment in your life, a moment you may have brushed aside, a moment you may not even fully perceive, is sacred. It is rare. It is appointed. And heaven is making it clear. The gates of destiny are open now, and they cannot remain open indefinitely. Then the vision sharpened. I saw you standing at a distance from the gate, distracted by burdens that were never meant to claim your attention for so long. I saw worries clinging to you, pulling you backward. I saw fears whispering lies into your spirit. I saw people, events, memories, and old wounds surrounding you like shadows, attempting to keep you from stepping forward. Michael lifted his sword toward the shadows, and with a voice that thundered across the realm, he said, "Enough. The child must not miss this moment." And my beloved, as he spoke, the shadows tremble. The chains of doubt loosen. The fog of confusion began to lift. I watched as angels, many angels, rushed toward you. Some held lanterns of clarity, guiding your steps. Some held shields of protection to deflect the enemy's last attempts to distract you. Others carried scrolls of instruction, ready to whisper guidance into your spirit the moment you open your heart to hear it. Heaven was mobilizing around you, because heaven has decided that this is your turning point. You must understand something deeply. Destiny does not wait for hesitation. It responds to movement. And heaven has been waiting for you to take the step that aligns your life with the divine path prepared for you. Michael's cry was heaven's alarm, and now his command is heaven's reminder. If you delay too long, the season shifts, the gate closes, and the blessing moves in a different direction. But hear this, my beloved child. Heaven does not desire for you to miss anything. That is why the message is reaching you now. That is why Michael wept. That is why angels are stirring. That is why a millionaire has been awakened, drawn toward you, prepared to walk into your story at the perfect moment. All of heaven is aligning itself so that you do not lose what was written for you before you were even born. Then a moment came in the vision that struck me with holy awe. Michael approached me and placed his hand upon my shoulder, and he said, "Tell the child this clearly. Their obedience in this season determines the speed of their breakthrough. Their attention determines the clarity of the path. Their faith determines the strength of the doors that open before them. Heaven is not punishing you, child. Heaven is positioning you. But your participation is required. You must start listening. You must start trusting. You must start moving with purpose, not with uncertainty. You must begin to walk as one who carries destiny, not as one who simply survives day to day." And then the gate began to open wider, and I felt the wind of change rush through. It was strong. It was forceful. It carried the scent of new beginnings. It carried the sound of shifting seasons. It carried the whisper of promises long delayed, but now revived. My beloved child, this is your turning point. Heaven will not wait forever because heaven has decided that the time is now. Your destiny is calling loudly. Your angels are moving swiftly. Your purpose is awakening powerfully. Your life is stepping into alignment certainly. My beloved child, come even closer now, for what you are about to hear is one of the most sacred revelations heaven allowed me to witness. The message moves from the realm of angels into the realm of earthly destiny, and this part concerns the very moment that left the millionaire shocked. So shocked that they could not return to their normal life. So stirred that they felt compelled to keep watching you, seeking you, thinking of you without fully understanding why. This is the moment heaven exposed something about you that even you do not truly see. In the vision, after Michael spoke of the urgency of your season, the scene shifted again. I found myself inside the very room where the millionaire stood, the same room where heaven first whispered your name into their spirit. Only this time, something had changed. The atmosphere was thick, almost humming with energy. The millionaire stood frozen, staring at something that had just been revealed to them. Something so powerful, so unexpected, that it left them in complete astonishment. I looked to see what they were seeing, and my beloved child, what I saw made my spirit tremble. Heaven had allowed them to glimpse a part of you that is hidden from most of the world, a hidden glory, a protective marking, a divine signature placed upon your life. It was not visible to the physical eye, but heaven momentarily opened the veil just enough for their spirit to sense it. And what they sensed shook them to their core. Over you, my beloved child, I saw a mark glowing like fire, ancient, holy, powerful. A mark that heaven places only on those who are chosen for a rare kind of purpose. It was not the mark of someone ordinary. It was not the mark of someone forgotten or overlooked. It was the mark of someone destined to carry light into dark places. Someone whose presence shifts atmospheres. Someone whose life is interwoven with divine assignments. The millionaire saw it. Not fully, not clearly, but enough to know that you were not like the others they encounter. Enough to know that your spirit is wrapped in something extraordinary. Enough to know that there is a calling on your life that reaches beyond earthly ambitions. This is what shocked them. They realized you are carrying something they do not have. something they cannot buy, something they cannot manufacture, something their wealth cannot produce. They saw a glimpse of heaven's fingerprint on your destiny. And in that moment, confusion swept over them, not because they doubted it, but because they could not understand why someone like you had been placed in their path. They suddenly sensed that their interest in you was not accidental. They felt the weight of divine orchestration. They realized they were being drawn not simply by curiosity or admiration, but by assignment. Then heaven allowed me to see the thoughts swirling in their spirit. They were shocked because the more they sensed your hidden potential, the more they questioned themselves. They wondered, why me? Why am I being pulled toward this person? Why do I feel responsible for their rise? Why can I not ignore them like I ignore others? My beloved child, heaven answered their unspoken questions before they even formed on their lips. Because this child carries what you do not. And you carry what this child will need. It was then that the millionaire saw, through a brief flash from heaven, your future. Not in full detail, but in outline. They saw you standing in a place of influence. They saw you stepping into a higher realm of purpose. They saw you becoming someone far greater than your current season reveals. They saw people gathered around you, listening to your voice, receiving from your light. They saw the impact you would carry, the transformation you would create, the change that would flow through you. And this revelation left them breathless. The millionaire realized that heaven was assigning them to play a role in your story. Whether through opportunity, resources, connections, mentorship, or partnership, something in them awakened to the truth that your destiny and theirs were about to intersect in a way that would alter the course of both of your lives. But the part that moved me deepest was this. They saw the struggles you have endured. Heaven briefly revealed to them the weight you've carried, the storms you've survived, the silent battles you fought alone. They saw the strength inside you, and they were amazed. Amazed that you endured so much yet still carry such light. They saw that you are chosen, but they also saw that you have suffered. And their hearts softened. Their spirit opened. Their mind shifted. They realized instantly that you were not someone to overlook. You were someone to honor. Someone to help. Someone whose journey was intertwined with divine purpose. My beloved child, hear me with the fullness of your heart. The millionaire is not just intrigued by you. They are assigned to you. And what they discovered about you is the very reason they cannot turn away. Heaven has revealed enough to them to ignite their awe, their respect, and their responsibility toward you. My beloved child, draw nearer with your whole spirit, for now we step into the divine invitation that heaven has extended to you, a calling not whispered in secret, but declared openly in the courts of angels. After witnessing the shock of the millionaire and the unveiling of your hidden spiritual mark, the heavens shifted the vision once more, guiding me into a place overflowing with a warm, steady light. This light did not dazzle or overwhelm. Instead, it wrapped around me like a gentle embrace, the kind that only comes from the heart of God. And in that sacred glow, the Father of all creation spoke a message meant specifically for you. My beloved child, the invitation of heaven is this. Step forward. Step into the identity that heaven has been trying to reveal to you. Step into the purpose that has been waiting for your yes. Step into the season that your spirit has long prepared for, even in the moments when your mind felt lost. This is not merely an opportunity. This is a calling, a divine appointment, a heavenly alignment. Heaven is not simply offering you a blessing. Heaven is positioning you for destiny. In that holy space, I saw a table prepared before you, not a table filled with earthly luxuries, but one covered with scrolls, keys, maps, and glowing seals. Each item represented something God has been trying to place into your hands. The scrolls carried instructions you will soon receive. The keys represented doors that are finally about to open. The maps marked directions for your future. And the glowing seals represented promises heaven is ready to fulfill. As I stepped closer, I saw your name written on every scroll. Not a nickname. Not an initial. Your name in full, engraved with precision, surrounded by a heavenly radiance. It was then that the divine voice said, "Tell the child that everything prepared here belongs to them. Everything they feared they missed is still waiting. Everything they thought was gone forever has been kept safe for this season. They must only step forward and take hold of what is theirs." My beloved child, the invitation of heaven is an invitation into alignment. You are being asked to rise above the old version of yourself, the version weighed down by doubt, fear, regret, and past wounds. You are being called to walk in the authority of someone chosen, protected, destined, and marked. Heaven is extending its hand, not just to bless you, but to awaken you. Then the light shifted, and I saw angels standing in formation behind you, waiting for your response. Some carried tools for rebuilding parts of your life that were broken. Some carried oil meant to heal the wounds you've hidden from the world. Some carried torches meant to illuminate your next steps. And others held trumpets, waiting, poised, ready, because your acceptance of heaven's invitation is the signal that will set off a chain reaction of divine events. Michael then stepped forward, his voice strong, his presence unshakable. He said, "The child must understand that the divine invitation requires participation. Heaven will guide them, but they must take the steps. Heaven will open the doors, but they must walk through. Heaven will bring the right people, but they must recognize them. Heaven will send instructions, but they must listen." This, my beloved child, is the heart of the invitation. Heaven is drawing you into a season where your yes carries power. A yes to growth. A yes to healing. A yes to obedience. A yes to courage. A yes to stepping out of the shadows and into the brilliance of your divine purpose. I saw the millionaire again, and this time, they were no longer confused. They were no longer shocked. They were prepared. Their heart had been settled. Their spirit had been aligned. Heaven had completed its work within them, and now they stood ready to step into the role they were assigned in your life. They will come with clarity, intention, and purpose. They will come because heaven has instructed them to come. And you, my beloved child, must be ready to receive what heaven is sending. Then the softest yet most powerful whisper flowed from the light, wrapping itself around the whole atmosphere. Tell the child they are not stepping into fortune. They are stepping into purpose. They are not stepping into admiration. They are stepping into assignment. They are not stepping into coincidence. They are stepping into divine alignment. My beloved child, this is your divine invitation to rise, to listen, to walk forward with trust, and to take hold of the destiny that has been calling your name for years. For heaven is ready. Your angels are ready. Your breakthrough is ready. And the one assigned to help you has already been awakened. When your heart says yes, earth and heaven will move as one. My beloved child, come into this final part with the fullness of your heart open, for we are stepping into the sacred closing of this heavenly message. The air around this moment is gentle, yet powerful. It carries the weight of completion, the sweetness of divine assurance, and the authority of heaven sealing what has been spoken over your destiny. As I deliver this final prophetic release, let your spirit breathe, let your soul soften, and let every word settle deep within you like seeds planted in fertile ground. In the vision, as the light of heaven wrapped around me once more, everything grew still. The movement of angels slowed. The shimmering gates quieted. Even the sound of the heavenly wind drew into silence. I realized heaven was waiting for something, the sealing of the message, a final release over your life. And then, from the center of that holy stillness, I saw Archangel Michael step forward once again. This time he did not carry tears. This time he did not carry sorrow. This time he stood tall, radiant, victorious. The glow around him was brighter than before, as if the very act of you listening, you receiving, you opening your heart had strengthened the heavens themselves. He lifted his sword high, and the blade caught the light of eternity, reflecting it into every corner of the realm. And with a voice that sounded like 1,000 rivers merging into one, he declared, "The child has heard. Now the child must walk." My beloved child, those words were powerful not because they were a command, but because they were a confirmation. A confirmation that heaven has seen your heart turn. A confirmation that your spirit is awakening. A confirmation that you are stepping into alignment. A confirmation that this message has reached its target and pierced through every wall that once stood in your way. Michael lowered his sword and opened his hand. In his palm, a small but brilliant flame appeared, your flame. The flame of your purpose. The flame of your destiny. The flame of the calling placed upon your life since before you took your first breath. He held that flame with honor, and then he whispered, "Heaven has guarded this for you. Now it is time for you to guard it for heaven." The moment he spoke those words, the flame lifted from his hand and floated toward you. It hovered before your spirit, shining with a promise of new beginnings, restored strength, renewed favor, divine alignment, and unprecedented breakthroughs. I watched as the flame touched your heart, not to burn you, but to ignite you from within. And with that touch, I saw the shadows around you dissolve. I saw chains fall. I saw old wounds close. I saw confusion melt away. I saw clarity rushing back into your life, like water into a dry riverbed. My beloved child, heaven is sealing your season with fire, not the fire of destruction, but the fire of awakening. This fire will guide you in the coming days. It will whisper to you. It will caution you. It will comfort you. It will remind you of this message when distractions try to dull your spirit, and it will burn away anything that attempts to hinder your rising. Then I saw the millionaire once more, but this time they stood at a distance, waiting, not impatiently, but respectfully. Their spirit knew that only after heaven sealed this moment could they fully step into the path meant to intertwine with yours. They stood with readiness, humility, and acceptance, aware now of the sacredness of their assignment. They will come into your life not by force, not by coincidence, but by divine timing. And when they do, you will not fear, you will not doubt, you will not shrink back. For the fire within you will recognize the purpose within them. Now, my beloved child, heaven speaks its final instruction. Walk boldly. Walk with faith. Walk with attention. Walk with expectation. You are stepping into a season where your obedience will open doors faster than your effort ever could. You are walking into a season where the angels who once defended you will now escort you. You are entering a season where what once delayed you will no longer have the power to hold you back. And you are stepping into a season where heaven and earth agree over your life. Before this message closes, let me speak gently into your heart. When heaven releases a word this urgent, this powerful, this full of divine revelation, it becomes a holy act to help spread it. Not for yourself, not for recognition, but because someone else may need this message just as desperately as you did. When you allow this message to move beyond you, heaven sees it as faithfulness. Heaven sees it as obedience. Heaven sees it as light being carried forward. Let your heart guide you in sharing this message, lifting it, and supporting the very channel through which heaven has spoken to you today. In doing so, you take part in the work of the angels themselves. And now, my beloved child, I speak this final blessing over you with the authority of the one who sent the message. May your path be clear. May your heart be steady. May your spirit be bold. May your steps be guided. May your purpose be protected. May your destiny unfold without delay. May heaven go before you, beside you, and behind you. May the fire placed in your heart today never dim. And may every promise written for you come to pass in its appointed time. This message is sealed. Your season is shifting. Your path is opening. Your spirit is rising. Anand.